Okay, Pasta YouTube, it's your boy JJ here, back with some more Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. Last time we got our 4th gym badge, and made our way up north past Celestic Town, past a group of Psyduck, and we're now on our route to Celestic Town. No hidden item here? It avoids the grass at least. We didn't really make too much progress besides in the gym battle, but we have a lot of tough battles up ahead here, because this route here, if you do not have Defog, can be a real pain to go through. A lot of these trainers here as well, I believe, have unique Pokemon too. And I am instantly proven wrong with Ponyta. Nice. The reason why I was saying these Pokemon are unique here is because I recall these trainers having stuff like Giraffe, Grottle, Apom. Up ahead, I think I remember them having a Gyarados, Raichu. There's one trainer with Tangela, in Platinum at least. One to learn Taunt. No, I think we're good. Well, the trainer does have Grottle, which is unique. Which also makes a trainer of interest, which you cannot avoid. If you did not pick Turtwig, or if your rival, or if you if you picked Piplup or Turtwig, you should have seen Grottle already. If you have him on Chimchar like I did, Turtwig would not have been used, and if Don or Lucas did not send out their own Grottle, you would see it here. But regardless, critical hit and 1-hit KO. Poor thing. And that's it. This ace couple up ahead here, I believe. I'm fairly certain they do have the same Pokemon I remember them having, which is a Raichu and Gyarados. And from what I remember, they were really notorious for being super tough. Am I right, though? Because this is the remake. I am. I'm a bit nervous here, since I'm positive that Raichu has Thunderbolt, and with the Intimidate drop, it makes this a lot tougher. And with how Gyarados has been throughout this entire series so far, doubly so. But I think we're going to double down on the Gyarados, because I believe it'll be the bigger threat here with the moves that they give Gyarados this time around. Thankfully, they're only level 27 though, but it's still a fairly high level. Light Screen. Oh, jeez. And Crunch. Poison Point? No Poison Point. Okay, so down goes the Gyarados. And even though Light Screen is up and this is going to do no damage, we need to get at least some HP back. It's going to do no damage, I say, as it does half the Raichu's health. Now, what does Raichu do now? Thunder Punch. I hope this does not paralyze us. But aside from that, I think we're good. Didn't even need Fell Stinger. And pretty much close to max health. That went a lot smoother than I thought it would be. Her little buddy. Ah, man's friend zoned. We do have a Pokemon that evolves with happiness now, and I don't know if we have anything for this now, but do we have any friendship raising items? We do not. And we have a lot of potions, even though we have the Moo Moo Milks. I think it's time, next time we get to a mart, to sell some of this stuff. No. I like you, Kricketune, but I'd rather walk with Infernape. What I was wanting to do was switch out for Manaphy again. With the whole walking with Pokemon thing, has always been beloved to Heart Gold Soul Silver because in that game it was pretty much perfected. This trainer has a Mothim, which makes them a trainer of interest. But as I was saying, walking with Pokemon was perfect in those games because they were always right behind you no matter of how fast they were. The newer games tried to make it better. In Sword and Shield, they almost had it, but it was a bit wonky. Here, I think it's kind of the same. It's not perfect, and they scaled down some of the Pokemon in terms of size. It's harmless, I would say. Don't need Fling. But they could have done a little bit better. I believe this Luxio also has Thunderbolts, but I'm not positive. But yeah, walking with Pokemon, I feel like it's... I'm not going to say it's overrated, but it's not really something I really cared for, personally. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they made it into a... not a gimmick, per se, but there was a reason for it in the game in terms of why it was relevant. And it was based off of the Amity Square and how well it handled Pokemon following you. I'm probably gonna get some flack for that, but I hope people understand where I'm coming from when I say this. I don't mean it's a bad addition to the game. It's just with how it is in these games, I think it's better off without it. But although personally, people are always gonna find a reason to complain about something in these games. They always have, and they probably always will. There's one last Ninja Boy up here, and yeah, we'll battle him. One really good reason why I appreciate the HM usage in these games, excuse me, is that we no longer require them to progress, or at least to have them in our Pokemon themselves, because there's actually a few items over here that you need an HM move for. We haven't unlocked all of them yet, but just the fact that we don't effectively require them on a Pokemon makes this so much more easy to deal with. And thank goodness we avoided that poison powder, because I was not gonna have to deal with that annoyance. I bought antidotes for that very reason, but it's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. And even then, I'll probably just sell them later on for full heals because they're much better. We're not in the grass anymore. I don't think I need to repel. But over here, Infernape running across the log. That's funny. Over here is a very good TM in the original games. TM Dirty Shadow Ball. It's a move I might give Murkrow when she evolves, but for now I think I'll hold off on it. Down here, though, is a Karate King. Well, Karate King is their name in the Japanese versions. What they're called here? Black belts. There we go. I don't know why I thought about Karate King. Why the Japanese name came to mind immediately. Regardless, all will fall to Manaphy. 29 though. They're catching up in level. The trainers are catching up. And it actually lives. But does nothing in return. Because as I said, all will fall to Manaphy. HP back from Shell Bell. And I can't believe Kricketune is about to overtake Infernape in levels. I mean, the Water Gym probably helped a lot, but still. Though then again, I do believe Krogatune's experience yield, or it levels up a lot faster than most Pokemon would. And I was wrong, by the way. That Ninja Boy in the beginning of the route was not the last one. We have one more here. One with a Krogunk, actually. I believe we're going to see Krogunk regardless, but always good to see one. Make sure you have it in Pokedex. I hope it does not have dry skin. Thank goodness it does not. Dry skin is an ability, I mentioned it before. It effectively heals you whenever an opponent uses a water type attack on you. Pokemon like Krogunk and surprisingly enough Jinx have it, and it really adds to their usage as a switch in to water type attacks, which is a lot more useful than you might think with how good Scald is as a move. Speaking of Scald, I know Crash Heroic did not give it to us, but it would be a very good move for Manaphy, and of course we got poisoned. Badly poisoned at that. I don't think I've covered getting badly poisoned yet. Maybe with Toxic I did. But what it does is that every turn, Toxic will do more and more damage until it reaches a maximum limit at 8th turn, where it will not immediately KO a Pokemon, but it will do a big amount of their health. But thankfully, as I said, we should have plenty of antidotes ready. And we have 9 left, which is more than enough. But now we only have 1 Bubble Beam left, so I think it's time to switch him out. And I think I'm going to return in front of the ball. It was nice walking with him for a while, but I'm not really a fan of the walking in this game. Especially with how the Pokemon actually can get in your way with these narrow spaces. So I think it's not really worth it. And I thought I healed the poison. Right. The Pokedex resets whenever you do something. It's weird because the screen does not immediately change until you perform an action, I think. Probably talking out of my ass here, but bear with me, please. We only have 2 trainers left in the route. There's this bird catcher here, who should go down easily. I believe we already seen both members of the Hoot Hoot line of Hoot Hoot and Noctowl, but if we did not encounter them in the Great Marsh, this trainer has them both here. And there's a Noctowl. And it actually survives. Sky Attack? Okay. Sky Attack is a 2-turn move where in the first turn they charge, and in the second turn they attack you with a flying type attack that has very high power, and I believe either has the ability to crit or flinch. Maybe both, because I've actually seen both. But unless you have a Power Herb on a Pokemon like Hawlucha with Sky Attack, it's not really too reliable. And even then, if you're going to use Unburdened Hawlucha, I believe something like an item like Electric Seed or Focus Sash, or an item like that would be more. An item like that would be more reliable. I know I talk way too fast, but it's just kind of how I talk. I'm sorry about this. I'll try to fix this, but it's the speed in which I've always talked. I stutter a lot, and it's weird bringing this up now of all times, but I do hope you guys understand where I'm coming from and why I talk the way I talk. With time, I hope I'll get better, but right now, I'll try my best to make this to sound as clear as I can. I know my mic quality is also not that good since I only record with a laptop, but please understand I'm trying my best here. Here we have a Giraffe, which might be the first non-wild one we've seen so far. Giraffe is an actually pretty unique Pokemon with a unique history. It was almost going to be normal Dark type, I believe so, or normal Ghost, but it ended up getting changed to normal Psychic, which isn't a bad typing, but not really the best either. And the last Pokemon in this route is Machoke, which goes down easily. Getting a critical hit, and there's the Affection again. I believe I said Friendship and Happiness is tied together in this game, which is weird because they're pretty much the same thing. I meant affection. Happiness and affection are the same thing in this game, which is useful since it prevents. It can sometimes either have a Pokemon heal themselves of status like poison and paralysis, or even have them survive on 1 HP when they should have been knocked out. But it does make the game a little bit easier, which people complain about as per usual. It's it's another case of taking the good with the bad. But and I can appreciate or understand why they did this. But I think I would have preferred the way Sword and Shield did it, where it's two separate things that you can do in a separate menu screen. But regardless of all that, here we are in Celestic Town. Gonna take one more second to heal here. And honestly, he evolved, but I don't think we've really seen him in action yet, except for one battle. So why don't we have Inferno take the front for now? And what? And we have this woman here waiting. An odd spaceman. Space. Space. Of course, there's also Team Galactic here. But what are they doing? I could have sworn there were items here. Maybe that's just me being used to Platinum again. No, there's no item here. Huh. Listen, at least none that I can see. This town is insignificant, so I'm gonna bomb it. That's what this man just said. I'm taking on the whole universe. Okay, buddy. Taking on the whole universe of a butterfly. Can I take on the entire universe? Wow. And a critical hit. What's next? Krogunk? This is one case where I hope they have dry skin. Because I didn't mention this earlier, but because Pokemon with dry skin absorb water type attacks, they are also much weaker to fire. And one of the Pokemon that has dry skin as an ability is Paris and Parasect. So if those two Pokemon are hit with a fire type attack while being 4 times weak to, or 8 times weak to it with dry skin, while also having the Sun out, which powers up fire type moves. I remember, I'm not exact, I'm probably wrong here, but I remember reading that with all those conditions set in place, Parasect is effectively, I believe, either times 8 or even times 16 weak to fire type attacks, which is insane. And what's also insane is this woman apparently being Cynthia's grandmother. And, as you've noticed, I believe she just gave us something special here. Please don't even look like an idiot here. Maybe it's after we explore this area inside here? Probably. Three strange things forming a triangle. A being so powerful was considered a deity at the time. And these 3 Pokemon kept the balance. Against that legendary, at least. There we go. TM95s. This TM is Surf. It's a water type attack that is effectively a water type version of the move Earthquake. However, it was not always like that. When the move was introduced and changed throughout the gens 1 to 3, it was a move that, while always useful, we have we have this mysterious person again. Cyrus. I don't even know why I call him a mysterious person, because I'm pretty sure we all know who Cyrus is by now. To create his new world. Fun fact about Cyrus, by the way. In Platinum, you would actually battle him here. And he's actually pretty tough. Around the same level as Crasher Wake, if not a little bit higher. And he has a Sneasel with Ice Punch, and a Murkrow with the Egg Move Drill Peck. He is not too terribly difficult at this point in the game, especially if you have an Infernape. But if you're not prepared, he can give you a hard time. But as I was saying, in Diamond and Pearl, they actually changed how Surf works to where it can actually damage your ally, whereas in Ruby and Sapphire, when double battles were first introduced, it would not do that. It would just affect the enemy. It made Surf a bit more tactical in how you use it. You have to be aware of the added effects to it. But it is still a really solid move, if not one of the best HM moves in the whole series. Along with Fly and Waterfall. Maybe Strength too. Strength is not that powerful, but it's good enough to where you could use it on a Pokemon in the main story, have it on one of your team members, and it would be a respectable move. Just arrange this a little bit. I'm kind of hoping we can find some items like a calcium, iron, or protein, and give that to Munchlax here to make the happiness go up. The same strategy would have worked on Badoo, but we had Badoo so early in the game that we couldn't get one of those. Not to my knowledge, at least. Now, Noctowl here is a normal flying type, so this will be neutral, but we haven't seen it yet, so let's show off our new move. Close Combat. It doesn't hit the same anymore. When Close Combat was first introduced into this series, it had such a I don't want to say menacing animation, but you knew by watching it that it was a really good move, and it still is. But it just lacks that oomph to it that it had in the old games, in my opinion, at least. Now, what does this trainer have here? I'm strong. 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 Am I really? No, I'm strong. TM77. This move should be Psych Up. Yeah, Psych Up. Psych Up is a rather niche move. Well, I don't think niche is the word to describe it. It's a bit uncommon in that you don't really see so many people using it, but it can be a very useful move. Just like how the NPC described it, if your opponent uses a move that raises their stats and you use Psych Up, you copy that stat change, which can be very useful for if you want to copy your opponent's stat changes if they're trying to sweep you, or even if you're in double battles, if you want to raise your own team member stats, you can use Psych Up to copy that stat change. Of course, I believe this also applies to stat debuffs. So if you lower Pokemon stats and you use Psych Up, you copy that stat debuff. So you have to be aware of how you use it. But typically, it's always going to be any kind of stat gain. Got another level on Munchlax there. If it evolves right now, which I doubt it will, that'll be pretty cool. Nah, a guy can dream though. I don't believe there's any new Pokemon in this route, so don't worry. You don't have to worry about that. I'm only being here for a bit more EXP on Munchlax. And last episode, I think I mentioned that we should be like in a kind of perfect, not perfect, but a good way level-wise in terms of catching up to letting the game catch up to us. But I might have been wrong about that. I think we're still going to be a bit more over-leveled than I would have preferred. But it's not too big a deal. Most of these trainers here are still a bit lower level than us. Oh, over 10 levels lower. but it's always good to get a bit more XP, especially on Munchlax, who needs to catch up. Speaking of Munchlax, I don't think this entire time I've actually seen its stats, nature, or moveset. I know it has Fissure because it used it on us, and I believe Screech as well, but I don't know what else it has besides that. So let me check that now, actually. Sassy. That's pretty good nature, honestly. Munchlax and Snorlax are not fast to begin with, and special defense is their highest stat, so it could be useful. And we do have Body Slam as well, so we can at least fight back. I doubt we're gonna land any fissures, but I'll probably gamble once or twice with it. And why not? We'll blow you away. And okay, now that I think about it a little bit more, I might be a bit wrong, not completely wrong, but about these encounters. But I do believe that in these patches of grass here, we could find wild Graveler, which should be more common than the Geodude we've been seeing earlier. Geodude are still in this grass, but they're not as common. But we won't see it. And to the area to the left, that cave there, was Mount Coronet, in that second area that we had blocked off to us by Eternal City. So, as I said earlier, it is a bit of a roundabout path. However, we can't really go through there without strength, and we don't have that yet. But, with all things considered, we made our way here to Celestic Town, saved it from a guy trying to bomb it, and even met up with Cynthia's grandma. So, even though we didn't do the most amount we could have done, I think I'm gonna save the next thing I have planned for the next episode. And for now, I think I'm gonna call it here. So, next time on Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, we'll do that extra little thing I glossed over earlier in the series, and we'll see what we have planned for us next. Until then, see you guys in the next episode. Peace.